Moosa is the real deal. Dr. Spillane used to say he keeps the main thing, and that's kids.
Moosa is an extremely special teacher. He has a heart of gold.
He really is trying to find ways to meet the needs of every kid in the room with trying to get them to enjoy science.
Moosa is an American success story.
He still uses a typewriter and types in every student's name in his grade book because that's how he likes it done.
He's just a great person, and he's so deserving of this Teacher of the Year. My word, couldn't have picked a better person.
I'm Moosa Shah. I teach 7th grade life science at Carson Middle School. I'm the 2014 Fairfax County Public Schools Teacher of the Year. My family immigrated from Afghanistan in 1980, and after the Soviet invasion in Afghanistan, I was too young to really know what was going on. We saw the soldiers in the streets and we saw the tanks, but I think that the situation was that when the American embassy closed, it wasn't necessarily safe for any American sympathizers, and so it was suggested that my father take the family out, let things cool down, and then we come back. And so that's how we left.
Moosa came into this country as an ESOL student in Fairfax County Public Schools system. And through that experience, he quickly learned the English language and learned to appreciate the educational system we have here in the United States. And he took full advantage of that. He always felt that learning was very important to anybody's success, and he has a high regard for education.
I consider myself a Northern Virginia native, a local kid. I went to Rocky Run. I went to Pine Spring Elementary when we first came here, and Rocky Run Middle School, Chantilly High School. I like the area, I like the diversity. Fairfax was good to me, so I hope I give a little bit back.
What's special about Moosa is through his experience, he was given a gift of understanding the struggles of students. Going through the educational process. His was a language struggle in the beginning, but from his confidence and from the supports that he received, he was able to succeed to high levels.
First and foremost, he has been in their shoes. So he does understand what it's like to come in and not speak the language. Now we have a full range of ESOL students in his class, some that really have very, very little English and some that have been here for a long time but are still sort of fine-tuning the language. He is able to differentiate.
Relating to the students who have a different background as I did, the connection is that you feel you're slightly different. You've got a world view, you've got a perspective that sometimes other peers their age can't really imagine, that they may not have traveled outside of the country. But that feeling sometimes of just being slightly different, I think, is, regardless of which group you're part of, if you're considered sort of a minority group, you're always feeling that that being singled out in some way physical and not so much in terms of what you know. That's almost always there, and with confidence and increased better English and your accomplishments, I think that over time goes away.
We teach students from all levels, and Moosa works in his class with gifted students, and he works with students with special needs, and he works with students who are just learning the English language, and he does work with all of them, and he meets them at their needs, and he challenges all of them, even our students who are struggling. He has high expectations, and he expects them to rise to the occasion and to do their best work, and he does that by building positive relationships, by encouraging them, and creating a safe classroom environment.
My students are a very diverse group of kids. We've got from almost all continents, from all over the world. In Fairfax County, we have kids from over 190 different countries that are here. Relationship building for me, I guess I don't look at the kids and think of them as being different or from a different culture, and this is how I'm gonna work to build a relationship. It's just building relationships with anybody, with my students.
It's just, he's very insightful as far as the needs of students are concerned. Not only their physical needs, but emotional needs and social needs. And he tries to provide those opportunities for kids that they can be successful, that they can really matter.
Mr. Shah is very compassionate. He loves his students. Not only is his educational practice strong, but the relationships that he forges with our students is incredible. He does not want to leave any student behind. He feels that all students have something to contribute.
I think before you can have kids learn science, you have to get to know the kid first, and you have to build a relationship with them so that they feel comfortable in the classroom, that they feel comfortable taking risks. And he really does that. He gets to know them first, and then the science comes after.
And he doesn't like to do things the typical way. If a lab comes out, he follows the lab guide, but he also supports the county by helping to design some of those aspects, sits on curriculum panels and things like that, so that he has that knowledge so that he can come back here and then he can change that around to meet the needs of the kids that are in his classrooms.
I've always been involved in making sure that everybody felt like they belong, that everybody was validated, their opinions counted. You didn't necessarily always have to agree, but people need the validation of being heard. And it's hard when you're not heard and you want to speak. And sometimes with my students, they feel like they blend in and nobody notices them. And so it's important for them to be heard and to know that they're individuals.
These are the rungs that are between the how we call it, the sides of the DNA module. So
in this profession, you have to be a compassionate person, but he really does stand out above the rest because he's devoted his life to this profession. He is extremely organized. He takes on tasks from everything from running the National Junior Honor Society to planning the retirement parties. And you have to be an organized person to handle that on top of the job of teacher too.
Oh, don't get me wrong, he is a great science teacher. He is wonderful. But it's his whole approach as a teacher and as a person that makes him so special. So yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. He knows his curriculum. He's written curriculum before. He is an absolutely fantastic teacher, but the person that he is what makes him a fantastic teacher.
I'm always reminded that I'm here because of my team, my parents, my students, the community, because everybody's helped supporting me. Everything that I do well, I have learned from a teacher before me. You know, I've learned from the teachers, I've learned from my students, from my clinical faculty when I was student teaching, to my own teachers, but every teacher I've worked with for the 22 years, I've been lucky enough to absorb the best practices, the best character and everything to sort of help make me who I am. And so it's been nice in that sense, but I wish there was a collaborative award to say that here you are the best group of the year kind of a thing, instead of just singling one person out.
Wonderful, inspirational story, and a science teacher. I love that too, by the way. So, congratulations on your selection as the 2014 Fairfax County Public Schools Teacher of the Year.